Hi, Dr. Douglas White and fellow Australian Catholic University classmates, mastering in high performance sport. I'm Robert Harris, and today I'll be sharing my research proposal. The title for my research project will be Influence of Change in Body Composition on Physical Performance and Injury Rates in Professional Rugby League Players, and will be completed as a major industry project. For this study, I'll be working alongside Dr. Blake McLean, exercise scientist and strength coach for the West Tigers Rugby League Club, and Associate Professor David Green from the Australian Catholic University, who will be supervising the project. Alright, so firstly we'll dive into some background information regarding the apparent study. Rugby league is an intermittent team sport with frequent bouts of high intensity activity, like sprinting and tackling, separated by low intensity activity, jogging and walking. Depending on playing position, elite players can cover distances between 3,000 and 8,800 metres during matches, with an average of approximately 1 collision per minute. Because of the high intensity, intermittent and collision nature of the game, players require highly developed aerobic and anaerobic capacities, along with the ability to produce large amounts of force and power. Body composition has also been suggested to influence the important physical performance capacities in rugby league, such as strength, speed, aerobic power, tackling, and also have an effect on injury rates. So moreover, on some background information regarding body composition. Total body fat has previously been shown to have an inverse relationship to aerobic capacity, players' power to rate ratio, and thermoregulation, as having higher body weight can decrease performance through being able to sprint and move and change direction quickly. Players also require a sufficient amount of body fat to help protect them from injury during collisions. The lean mass to body fat ratio for optimal performance in rugby league can vary significantly due to individual differences that exist between players and teams and varying somatic requirements for different playing positions. Alright, so now we'll look at some more background information specific to body composition and rugby league. Previous research by Gavitt has examined seasonal changes in junior rugby league players using skin fold analysis technique. He highlighted there was reductions in the sum of 7 skin folds, along with an increase in VO2 max and muscular power during the pre-competition phase of a rugby league season. This is when training loads were at their highest. However, an increase in skin fold thickness, accompanied with reductions in muscular power and VO2 max, have also been shown toward the end of a rugby league season, when training loads were at their lowest and match loads and injury rates were at their highest. Additionally, Harley and colleagues examined body composition using a DEXA, or dual energy X-ray absorption technique, and reported rugby league players competing at a professional level to have an increase in lean mass and decrease in fat mass during the pre-season period of training. This is whilst these changes were reversed during later period of the in-season. So now we'll look at some background information in relation to body composition and how it affects performance. Pillsbury and colleagues reported there was a strong correlation between whole body and segmental fat-free soft tissue mass and maximal upper body strength and jumping power in AFL players. Till and colleagues also reported there was a reduction in skin fold thickness. It was associated with improved vertical jump, 30-metre sprint times, the 505 agility times, and maximal aerobic power. Although, some more information regarding body composition and playing level. There was no significant difference in body mass between elite and semi-elite players, but there was a lower skin fold thickness as playing standard increases, indicating a higher lean mass in elite players. Furthermore, skin fold thickness appears to be one of the physical discriminators between national and regional junior players, and selected and non-selected senior elite players. So the rationale or reasoning behind the study. Examining the relationships between body composition and physical performance using a DEXA analysis is currently not available in rugby league players. Furthermore, DEXA techniques would again provide more detailed information on differences between playing levels and positional groups in rugby league. The aim of this research project is to assess changes in body composition across a professional rugby league season and how changes influence lower and upper body strength and power and injury rates. A secondary aim is to examine factors that may explain changes in body composition throughout different phases of the season, including diet and training load/playing load. Now to the methods. Firstly, the participants will be 35 professional rugby league athletes from the same club, West Tigers Rugby League Football Club. Now onto the experimental design. Participants will visit the laboratory on 6 separate occasions, one familiarization session followed by 5 experimental trials. Data collection will take place over 1 year as seen in Figure 1 or the timeline. Scans will be completed during early November, late December, late February, June and September. The last scan may vary depending on finishing position of the team. Moreover, on the experimental design, data from the DEXA scans, Medix France, previously completed by participants during early September 2015, provided by the West Tigers Rugby League Football Club. Participants' body composition will subsequently be assessed by full body DEXA scans at Australian Catholic University Laboratories, Strathfield, Australia. During an initial laboratory visit, participants will be familiarised with the isometric mid-thigh pull and counter movement jump tests. These tests will then be conducted at each data collection time point throughout the study to assess isometric force production and lower body power. Prior to each laboratory visit, participants will be asked to arrive at the laboratory in a hydrated state, having avoided structured exercise and alcohol consumption for 24 hours and caffeine for 8 hours prior. All trials will be conducted at the same time of day. In these days leading to the testing session, participants will have asked to recall their previous 24-hour food intake for 3 consecutive days, including 1 day on a weekend and 2 weekdays. Now onto the experimental protocols. Firstly, with the DEXA. Fat mass and lean tissue mass will be measured from a whole body scan using dual X-ray isometry, Medix France. Participants will be asked to wear light clothing with all metal objects removed. A whole body scan will be performed on 5 occasions by the same accredited technician, as demonstrated below. The isometric mid-thigh pull. The isometric mid-thigh pull testing will be carried out with participants standing on a portable force plate. Participants will be positioned so they will assume a body composition similar to that of athletes completing the second pull of a power clean with a flat trunk position and the shoulders in line with the bar. The fixed bar height above the force platform will vary to accommodate different size participants, and the rack will be anchored to the floor. Participants will then be instructed to pull as hard as they can and as fast as possible for a period of approximately 5 seconds, with ground reaction forces recorded by the force platform. These commands are based on previous research indicating the use of these procedures for optimal results for peak force and peak rate of force development. To the right, you can see this. The counter movement jump. Participants will perform 3 single counter movement jumps as previously described. Participants will be instructed to jump as high as possible while holding their hands on their hips. Counter movement jump depth will be self-selected by the participants, as this method has previously shown acceptable reliability, and to be sensitive to changes in power output in team sport athletes. To the right, you can see this demonstrated. Dietary recall. Participants' nutrient intake will be assessed using a 24-hour recall method, where participants will be asked to recall their previous 24-hour food intake for 3 consecutive days, including 1 day on a weekend and 2 weekdays. A standard format will be used for each 24-hour recall according to the principles described previously. And this concludes my presentation. Thank you, Dr. Douglas White and fellow classmates. Hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for listening.